Welcome back to another episode of Stories and Conversations with Rahel. And I'm so excited about the next guest that is going to be talking about this topic for this month, women navigating the business or the corporate world. And she has done quite a bit for herself, but I will not share this with you. She will share herself. So without much further ado, I would like to welcome Caroline to the show. Thank you for being here.
Okay.
And I know we met each other on LinkedIn, which was very interesting. And I'm glad you actually responded to me because most people don't respond, especially busy people. So I'm glad you responded and I'm glad that you're here. So before we get into the conversation, please introduce yourself. And I mean, I know people get tired of me saying this, but feel free to share whatever you feel like sharing.
Okay.
Don't be shy.
Hi, I'm Caroline. I'm a mother and I'm an executive coach to emerging leaders. I've also been in the political and governance space for the last about 15 years. I vied for Member of County Assembly in Gong Ward in 2013. And I was second and the only woman in the ballot box. Same thing again, 2017. I vied for senator. And I was second on the ballot box and only woman on the ballot box again. So I have been through blood, sweat, and tears in patriarchy, trying to be in spaces where only men are. It's really a joy to connect with Rahel, to be here to speak about women who are in the entrepreneurial space. And when we talk about women navigating, especially women leaders who are navigating the entrepreneurial space, I like to think about, do these women really know their place? Are they begging to be in these spaces, or do they have authority and power when they enter in this space, knowing what they're bringing to the table?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That is such a bold statement. I love it. But before we get there, so I mean, we've heard about you, but what do you do for fun? Like, what do you do to unwind? Because I'm sure what you do is quite heavy, and trying to bring these women to this space where they know themselves is very heavy. So how do you unwind? How do you spend your downtime? What do you do for fun?
My favorite thing that I love doing is that I have a 10-year-old daughter who's very playful and active, who keeps me on my toes. We like having fun together. We are the same people. You know, when you give birth to yourself, like we have the same personality type. So we do travel together, road trips. We do a lot of fun things together, playing around together. So that's what I love doing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You have a lot going on for yourself, but I love it for you. And you carry it so well. And I'm really, really glad that you're here. So, I mean, you've talked about all these things that you have done for the last 15 years, especially on the politics and governance space. So maybe you can tell us a little bit of how you got into it. Is it something that, you just saw somewhere that, people needed to be led by women and you decided to do it? Or is it something that you were born with? Because some of these things are innate and then they come out after some time. So how has been your journey from the start?
So I am from a family where everyone is very business and corporate, and so I was in University of Liverpool studying business, and a friend of mine asked me to help her. She was vying for a seat, for a political seat. She asked me to help her. It was in the middle of winter and I loved every bit of it. One day the sky was blue and I realized this is what I need to be doing. So I had just finished my degree in business. To cut a long story short, I ended up being a shadow counselor in England.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
How was that?
So it was an experience where my friend was helping. She was very focused in being the change in her community, and that was my heartbeat. So I was a shadow counselor in England, and fast forward, I actually saw myself becoming an MP, a member of parliament in England, and I didn't want, because England is overdeveloped, and I was thinking about Africa and how much work we need to do in East Africa, in Kenya. So I got a humanitarian job in Democratic Republic of Congo in the middle of war. So I worked in the in the eastern side of Congo where the war was the worst. And then I made my way back home to Kenya, and that is how I vowed in 2013. I was so passionate about being the change and seeing change and making a difference. But let's just say patriarchy hit my principle. Like a ton of bricks. You know? But like you and those principles of yours, you're going nowhere. But no experience is wasted. I remember when I was starting, they used to call me Karetu, which is Kikuyu for young girl, small girl, young girl. And as time has gone, they no longer call me that. You have to prove your worth. I think for me, the biggest learning lesson is that women have to work 1,000 times harder than men. I have to prove myself every minute of the day. And I have to give my blood, sweat, and tears to everything, for people to believe that I'm a leader. And I have come full circle. It's been a full circle and a learning curve. And that is why I'm very passionate and intentional in equipping women and youth to understand that they have a unique value that they add to the table. You should not apologize, because I remember for me, vying in patriarchy I used to receive death threats. I used to be told if I'm found asking for votes in a certain area, my feet will be cut. But I used to say, whoever wants to kill me will not talk about it. They would have done it by now. So, and also I'm a firm believer that if you're not willing to die for something, then you'll die for anything. So I stand by what I believe in. And I really still believe that women have a place to play in our economy, in our governance. And when we look at, in the whole continent, in the region, when we look at the big boardroom where decisions are made, where key decisions are made regarding the continent, count the number of women in those boardrooms and in those spaces. And it's a continent remains dark when they don't allow when they don't give space, let me not say allow, when they don't create platforms or spaces for half of the population to participate. When you leave aside the youth and you leave aside the women and only men make decisions, then you're not a holistic country, you're not a wholesome nation. Your economy will suffer for it. So your social, demographics the social circle will suffer for that. So it has been a learning curve that I have come out more whole, more mature, more bold. I'm fearless by nature. I think it's because of the hell I have been through. But I'm here to hold another woman's hand, another youth's hand who wants to be in these spaces and say, hey, you bring something so unique and powerful on the table, and don't be afraid. Like, show up. As long as you have a resolve and a conviction. Don't show up in a space without conviction or resolve.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. You are dropping bombs, girl. And thank you for sharing what you're sharing. And it's really touching me because I'm also very, very passionate about women empowerment. And most of the time, women hold themselves back. And one of the main reasons is because we are in a patriarchal society where we are told what to do. Right? So I'm glad that you're holding spaces for women. You're opening up spaces for women to actually be themselves. So is it safe to say that you vied for the political seat just to break that societal norm of having men leading all the time? Or was there another agenda that you were trying to push during this, your agenda in terms of vying for political seats?
For instance, when I vied for senator, number one, I knew I was a trailblazer by breaking barriers.
And
you're entering.
Is it senator for Nairobi or
for Kajiado County?
Oh, for Kajiado.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Nairobi is very metropolitan. I wouldn't say patriarchy. Patriarchy is, but nowhere near Kajiado County, like in Masai Land. That's a whole different ball game. And the reason why I was doing it was because I wanted to bring industries. So I had plans, my friend. Kajiado has got one of the largest numbers of cows. So why don't we have like how there's Italian leather? Why don't we have an Italian leather but Kenyan leather factory in Kajiado County? I had plans to go to Italy and partner with them so that they can start a pilot leather manufacturing to such standards. I don't make mediocre but proper standards. So because there's so much poverty, especially with the younger generation,
Yeah.
where they don't have an employment. So I was thinking if we could start such industries, they would create mass opportunities for the people.
Yeah.
So I had plans to develop that county, but and also break barriers, and now know that no woman, no girl will ever have to go through the hell I went through for me to be able to be on the ballot box.
Yeah.
So it's about knowing that you're there to break barriers, break ceilings, and paving the way for others, and knowing. And my resolve was the change I will bring to you people.
Yeah.
After this, you will only be voting for women.
Yeah.
Because my heart was really for all people. It wasn't for myself. I had no greed in it.
Yeah. And I'm really glad you did that. And I know right now you are in executive coaching, right?
Yeah.
And this is another sphere of, trying to get into this space and bringing women into a space where they understand themselves a little bit better. So as you're doing this coaching, what are some of the things that you have noticed in women that you believe we need to break? Because I know personally, and we even shared on the podcast about different narratives around women, but sometimes people feel like it's biased because it's your journey. So you're sharing your journey. So I bring women like yourselves to this podcast to share some of the narratives that you've had and you are actually experiencing them, and you're trying to make women, just move out of that and become better than they are. Because as you said, we do not have enough women, especially in leadership and doing what needs to be done for the change that we need to see happen. So what are these things that you've experienced, and the things that you believe we need to break as women and just move to the next sphere?
First of all, thank you so much for creating this space and this platform. We appreciate you so much. It is so needed. And I would like start by saying that, first of all, as a nation, we have made many strides. There is no more time to complain and make excuses as women. There is a lot of he for she and so much support for women to be fully who they can be. And for me, my question for women is, why are you not as confident and as bold as you could be? Because you could. So why are you not? My question is self-doubt as a woman. Put every excuse aside and know that within you, the power is within you. A lot of women, especially women who are in entrepreneurial space and corporate space, you're waiting for a promotion, you're waiting for an opportunity to get to your next level. Your next level and your opportunity is not found externally, it is found within you. Take time as a woman and reflect. What unique power do you have? What unique strength do you bring to the table? Stay on your lane. Have a conviction about who you are, who God says you are, your true identity. Know your true identity. Go on a journey of self-discovery. We like to go on such big journeys of international education and doing all these courses, but the greatest personal development journey is the one of self-discovery, a bold and authentic self-discovery where you ask yourself some raw and honest questions. Are you in the right position? Are you in the right industry? You see, make the most of your own unique power, your own unique strength, find out what it is, and then make a resolve on your way forward. When you have raw and honest conversations with yourself, excuses will not be your language. You will see yourself ahead, because no two unique people, Rahel, no two unique people, even twins, have the same giftings of power within themselves. So when Rahel stays on her lane and you're unique to who you are, you're true to who you are, you're true to your unique power, and you stay on your line. You stay on your lane, you will excel. Nobody else can come and question you or fight with you, because your power speaks for you, your strength and your unique abilities, they speak for you. A lot of women, your competition is you. It is Rahel versus Rahel. It is you versus you. And we should not be intimidated by the possibility of how great we could be when you find out your unique power. But as a woman, are you even willing to take the step? You see, I find a lot of women saying funding is an issue, capital is an issue. I remember when I decided to vie for senator, I was in a room of some young women who wanted, this is back in 2016 because not the election was in 2017. I was in a room where I think National Democratic Institute had called us and were having a meeting, and they were asking, what will it cost for women to be on the Senate? For you to get your political party certificate. And I remember most of the young women were saying they make the cost so high that most women cannot get it. Because if a political party seat cost $250,000 Kenya shillings, how many women at the grassroots level will be able to afford to vie for senator? That way women have already been put out. So I remember saying, even if that certificate cost $500,000 Kenya shillings, I will have to be on the ballot box. Not because I had any money in my account, but I had a conviction and a resolve. So believing in your unique power, I knew I am called, and my space, my lane is in the governance and leadership space. Then I'm in the right place. Then I know somehow I will make the right strides, the right steps, the right networks, the right collaborations in order to amass what I need. But when you are not in your right space or in your own lane and you're there to compete with others, then you get mixed up in something that is not even beautiful to you, something that is just not adding any value to you or anyone around you. But when you are in your space, you add so much value that capital or whatever it is that you need will come to you. You attract exactly the power that you have.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh wow. I'm like, oh my gosh, Carol, you're saying all the right things. But let me tell
It's
you.
not about saying the right things. It's because I've lived it.
I know. And experience is obviously the best teacher, right? And that's why we are here, both me and you. And whatever you've said is really amazing. And that's why I'm really reacting to it in this way. Because, I mean, for you to be able to sit and actually say those words is because you've been through the murkiness of this corporate world.
I had no one to hold my hand.
Exactly.
I did it all alone. And I don't want any other woman to go through it alone.
Wow.
I'm here to walk through them.
And I hear you 100%. And that's the same conviction that I have. And for me, it's very, very deep because I've been through crazy things. And you know, both of us can say, yes, we've been through crazy things. And it's true, right? Everyone has their own experience. So, I mean, Carol, you're sharing all these things, and I know you've been through quite a bit, and similar to myself, right? So you have gone and done this self-discovery process, you've done all these things, you've done coaching and all that, and you come to the table, right? And those tables, and this is my experience, and you tell us whether this is your experience as well. You come to the table and you bring all that energy and conviction, but you're still pounded upon. And sometimes even reduced to a pulp. Because personally for me, the mental health journeys that I've been on and the downfalls has been because of this, putting myself on the table, being too ambitious, and then you're beaten to a pulp. And most of the time it's by a man or a fellow woman. Right? So have you experienced this, number one? And number two, what is someone supposed to do, especially women? Because women are the ones where, you know, when you pulp us to, you know, when you beat us to a pulp, we just lose it and we tend to lose ourselves compared to men, because men can be a bit more stronger. They are more strong-willed, but for women, we fall almost immediately because of that emotional side. So have you experienced this before? And what should someone do when they're in such a position to hold their position and to still stand and continue with their conviction and just move?
That's a really good question. I would say, number one, when you enter those spaces, you know the value that you're adding in that space. But don't seek validation in that space. Your value and your validation is not found in that space. So if you're giving your best in the space and they're not willing to see or appreciate, or maybe they see it but they ignore it, it's very important as a woman not to throw your pals to the pigs. Don't give everything in a space that is wasting your pals. The value that you're bringing, take it where it's going to be appreciated. You don't have to sit in a space where someone is helping you because they don't own you. And that's not the only platform. Get another platform where you're not necessarily very appreciated, but where your value is tangible and it's transforming lives.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's about the impact that you're making. So if you're in a space where you are not, your impact is not cascading to whoever, like to the groups of people or to the room that you want it to be, you exit from that space. Do not throw your pearls to pigs again and again, and then it is wasted, and then you feel devalued or you are devalued. At the end of the day, seek spaces where your value is appreciated, and also do not put yourself in a place where you're compromised as a woman.
Yeah.
Do not compromise yourself, because whoever these men or women who are perpetrators, you should not let yourself to be a victim, and yet you know you have value. Victim and value cannot even be in the same sentence.
Yeah.
Because regardless of which other space, have confidence that when you get out of that space, there'll be many other spaces where you can give your value and actually impact the community and the society. Do not consistently put yourself in a place where you are the victim. Decide, make a resolve to be a victor. When you enter those spaces, do not give room. Right now, I cannot give room for anyone to make me into pulp.
Yeah.
Or yes, because once bitten, twice shy. If you know you have put yourself in that situation, get out of toxic. Yeah, mental health comes by staying in dysfunctional and toxic environments again and again. Ask yourself whether it is worthy for you to be in a place that is toxic till you yourself are beginning to doubt your own value.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, and this is a reality for a lot of women. Women actually tend to sit in that space, and not just women. They're also men who go through this. So when they go through such incidences, they will sit there because they do not have options, or rather, they think they do not have options, and that's why someone. And I'm sorry to say this, and I mean I'm not married yet, but even in marriages, sometimes women sit there because they don't have another option, yet the person or their partner is doing all these things that is compromising their health, compromising their environment, making it toxic and all that. And that's the thing about women that we need to really talk about and show them that there are options.
Yeah.
It might be hard, because when you leave a comfortable space, whether it's work, whether it's marriage, whatever it is, it's normally hard to start again.
Yeah.
Because most of the time you're shadowed by this person who's your strength.
Mm.
Then when you're leaving, and even at work, your strength is maybe the money, the comfortability.
Yeah.
You get into a space and you're like, where do I start? And you feel devalued because you're like, if I'm not earning, if someone is not holding my hand, I have less value.
Yeah.
And that's not the truth.
Yeah. Totally.
And those are the conversations we need to have, Carol. And that's why I have you here and all these other women that I'm having conversations with, because we need to start having these conversations much bolder than we do.
Yeah.
Because we're not having them enough.
Yeah.
And we are seeing so many women battered by all these circumstances. And by the time they rise out of the dust and the ashes, most of the time, sometimes it's a bit too late. Yeah. But it's never too late anyway.
It's never too late.
But I asked another question that I'm still waiting to hear from you. Have you experienced something like this? And what was your experience like? And how did you get out of it?
First of all, I'd like to say that there are many choices. But sometimes when you're in the darkness of the pit and you see like there is no light at the end of the tunnel, it is important for women to make it normal to get themselves a coach, because we all have mentors. Kenyans have this thing about having a mentor. We have mentors, but a coach is able to get the strength or the power that is remaining inside of you. And when we are in those compromising situations, especially women who are in toxic work environments, especially career and professional environments where it is so toxic, but you know that's where you're getting your salary, have a conversation with yourself, like a role. Let me tell you what, until you are willing to have a bold and authentic conversation with yourself, not with other people, you will never come out of that toxic environment, because you yourself have become toxic by being in a toxic environment.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's very important that you start by having a very raw conversation with yourself.
Yeah.
Are you able to get yourself out of the mess that you are in? No. Do you have a plan? No. Are you seeing a way out? No. Then get somebody else who has the capacity to get you out of that dark place. And personally, for me, I was at a place where some years ago, after vying for, being the only woman in the ballot box in 2013, there's some couple of things that had happened. Also, I was nominated CEC, County Executive, which is equivalent to like a county minister. I was nominated and actually gazetted, and then it was taken from me. And then on top of that, Senate, being on the ballot box and losing, it got to a time I stopped doing anything. My mental, I stopped, I had to put myself out of every environment that involved politics or leadership. I was in such a dark place, like hopelessness was, I was in a very dark place and knowing that there was no way out. And it got to a place where the good thing is that I always put myself in positive other spaces. Like I have been a fellow of Mandela Institute, Yali, Ashoka. I'm a member of so many, sorry, not a member, but I'm a fellow of so many leadership and governance and political spaces. Conrad Adeno, Steftan, Freddie Ichbach, so many fellowships to do with leadership. So some of them give us opportunity for us to have coaches. So I got an opportunity to have a coach, and I'll just mention my coach. Her name was Caroline. And this lady transformed my life. And there's nothing new that she told me. Everything that you gave me was what was inside of me. And this is the power of getting a coach. After I was done with her, trust me, I was ready now to vie for president of Africa Union.
Wow.
This is how good she was.
Yeah.
Like, she got me out of such a dark place. And she was working with what I was giving her. Like, a coach doesn't come to give Rahel new information. A coach is able to give you a clear view of who Rahel is, like the bigger picture of what it is you want to achieve and what is inside of you and what is the composition that makes Rahel and what makes your heart beat and what makes you passionate and what makes you brilliant in your own unique way. And when she was done with me, I knew I had to be a coach because this is what I want every other woman to be. And I have never gotten so much freedom. And this is the freedom I want to bring to women. There is hope on the other side if you get the right coach. And I'm not advocating because I'm a coach. I'm advocating because this is my experience. You know, when it comes to personal development, we are so quick to go and get another course. I would advise women, before you get another course, get a coach so that you know, the worst thing, Rahel, is for you to spend so much resources, time, energy, commitment, climbing up a ladder for a whole decade or even several decades. And then when you reach to the top, you realize you are the top of the wrong ladder.
Oh, wow. Wow. We need to sit on that
so important
for a minute,
that before you go on another course, another, development, personal development investment, get yourself a coach so that it can reveal the authentic you. Which ladder you need to be at. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Being
so
on
there
top
is a
of the
choice.
wrong ladder.
Yeah. So
Oh my gosh, that hit me. Like, it really did.
Yeah.
It hit me. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it's so important for women to put themselves, like I put myself on a leadership fellowship at the lowest time in my life. I just decided, let me apply. And I got it. And that's how I got my coaching. This was some years back and I've never looked back. And so I'd ask women, don't be silent in your pain. Don't be silent. Ask for help. Always be willing to ask for help and ask the right people for help. Because sometimes you can also ask toxic people for help and end up in a worse situation that you
Yeah.
ever began with.
Yeah.
And always surround yourself with healthy people, wholesome people,
Yeah.
people who are good for your mental, spiritual, and emotional well-being. And also, it's very important for you to be right spiritually, because when you are okay within your spirit, you will know that the person who gives you food, shelter, and clothing is not a husband or a man or a job. It is your creator. He's the one who provides for you. It's not your job. It's not a husband. It's not your salary. It is your creator who provides for you.
Yeah.
So when you have this mentality, then you will have the audacity to walk out of a very toxic environment and know that whichever other area you go to, you have a unique value to add to the table. So they will take you in. You will get another job. You will get another opportunity.
Yeah.
You will get funding. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Oh my gosh. Hey, Carol. We need to have like 3 episodes of this, because this is so deep and I'm really feeling a lot of what you're saying. So, but then let me ask before we continue, what's the difference between coaching and therapy? It's almost the same, kind of.
So therapy is to do with a psychologist who is a certified, it could be a psychiatrist, it could be a psychologist who is certified. While coaching is someone to empower you, whether it depends, whether it's a life coach there to empower your life, a leadership coach, it's regarding your career. A holistic coach is your life, your personal life, your professional life. So it depends. Therapy, it's a lot to do with mental health, and sometimes it can go as far as having to get a psychiatrist to help you walk your journey with your mental health.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I believe both of them are important. So as we come to the end of this conversation, what would you say to women? I know we are concentrating and we're shedding a light on women, but I mean, this is also for men. So I don't want to put them to the side, but mostly for women, because women, I believe, have the most challenges in any corporate world, business world. So what would you say to young women and also older women, all women, in terms of what they need to do? What's the next step that they need to do? I know you talked about coaching, you talked about a lot of things that they need to do, but what would you advise them and tell them that this is the route that you need to take for you to not be on the wrong ladder?
I'll be very practical. This December, it's not about eating and holidays and shopping. Have a meeting with yourself. Sit down as a woman and align yourself with your values and your goals. Have an authentic and very honest conversation with yourself. Have a meeting with yourself. What goals do you want to achieve? Do you communicate authentically about what it is you have to bring to the table? Or are you playing small? Are you talking to people about your big goals and your big dreams, or you're just bringing small goals and small dreams to the table? Are you people pleasing? What imposter syndrome do you have that you need to deal with? And who is going to support you deal with it? How is self-doubt damaging your career and your aspirations? And have this really honest conversation with yourself. Because for me, what breaks my heart is with women is waiting for 31st December to write some surface level resolutions. A vision board is not about wishes. A vision board is not a wish board.
It's a vision.
You have to go down to the root of who you are. Decide what are your values and principles, things that you will never compromise about. And then now form your vision from there. Make your vision plain. Beyond cutting pictures, yes, it's important to visualize, but visualize what is authentic to you. Deal with your own inner man. Make your inner man wholesome. Have a holistic approach. What is your relationship with your creator? Because your boss, your parents, your teachers, and the environment do not know the truth of who you are. Only the true one knows who you truly are. So have a conversation about what is your true identity. What are your values? What do you believe in? What do you stand for? what is your vision? What are your goals? What is your mission in this life? When you enter in 2024, what mission are you seeking to achieve? Because life cannot be about going out, eating in good restaurants, and just putting hashtags of self-love. Do you really self-love yourself when you've not done inner work? Self-love is beyond going a spa. Take your heart for a spa. Take your mind for a spa. You know, work on your inner self. And you'll realize that promotion will not come because you talk to the right people. Promotion will come because you're so whole. So you're adding so much value in every space that people are fighting to have you on their team.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
So that's the advice I'd give to every woman. And it's all of us, including Rahel and myself.
Yes.
This December, we're all working. You see, working on your inner man is like an onion. It can never be perfect and you'll never finish it. It's taking one step at a time. So every year, it's making yourself better. It's like a diamond in the rough. Every year, you're polishing yourself until you become the shiniest diamond on the stone, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I feel like this is...
And if anyone needs a leadership coach, your girl is here.
Yeah.
Yes. Only if you're ready. And also, I'm not just an executive coach. I'm a bold and authentic leadership coach.
Wow.
Yes.
This is like a drop the mic moment. But I'm glad you've gone to the next bit, which is where I was to ask you.
Yes.
So if people want to get in touch with you, where do they find you?
On LinkedIn as Caroline Chege. I have conversations with people about being holistic because my main conversation this season is about how your unique power, your confidence, and your boldness is the key to your success in 2024.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's a journey of self-discovery. Yeah.
So you can be found on LinkedIn. So anyone who wants to reach out to Caroline, please reach out to her on LinkedIn, Caroline Chege. Is there any other platform?
Yes, or Instagram, Caroline Leads.
Okay.
So Caroline, Caroline, and then Leads. Leads, Caroline Leads.
Or
on
Caroline
Insta.
Leads. Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you.
And if you just want conversation,
Yeah.
I'm also here just for conversation.
Yeah.
Yes, if you need just help with a way forward or you feel stuck. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you for holding space for women. I'm really proud to be associated, and I'm sure we are going to walk this journey
together.
Yes, thanks. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you.